Transform your startup journey with the Energy Tech Nexus. Connect with fellow founders, access critical resources, and be part of a community shaping the future of energy and carbon tech. Your path to building a Thunder Lizard starts here. Learn more at energytechnexus.com. Welcome back to the show. Today, I'm glad to be with Stephen Ogi. He's the founder and CEO of a company building a product called VisionTech. Stephen, why don't you tell us a little bit about the vision behind VisionTech?
Thank you, Jason. Another for having me on the show. So for us, it's been a journey, coming down from where we started to now. So I could say that it's like my life has gone full circle. When I started my career, officially back in Nigeria in 2004, I joined a national oil and gas company, Oando, in Nigeria. I joined the company as a safety advisor. I was there for about 6 years. Yeah. Also in between, I did, my background is in physics. I did a master's in safety engineering from University of Aberdeen in the UK. Then shortly after about being in the company for about 6 years, I was already thinking about entrepreneurship. Yeah. Then the easiest thing that came to my mind, because of my passion for speaking, talking, training people, was to set up a management consulting firm, which we did after my master's in safety engineering and also an MBA from Lagos Business School. So I put up a structure, set up a management consulting firm to train people. It was in that training, started training, we found out we're also going back to oil and gas to train people on safety. Yeah, and in doing all those training, we just couldn't scale. We couldn't scale so much because for you to do classroom training, it requires your presence. You need to be there. So it was in the trying to scale that we said, okay, you know what, can we break our training and put it online? In Nigeria, as at 2012, that I'm talking about, online training wasn't even something we're not even thinking about it. Yeah, so we're not in that space at all. But that was when the idea came. I was there working on a platform for online training in Nigeria. We were able to successfully bring it to market around 2014, ran it for a bit, and sold it off to investors. Yeah, but that's my love for technology now came into play. When I came into the US in 2022, I came with the O1 visa, setting up as someone who's an extraordinary ability in technology entrepreneurship. So I was thinking of moving the same idea to set up an e-learning business here, or probably another startup that we did in Nigeria, which was a plagiarism checking platform. We called it Nocopycats in Nigeria. We also exited that business in 2021. So I was thinking of setting up something similar, but researching the market, checking and talking to mentors here, I found out that I could scale on what I have skills in. And one of those, my good skill, is in the knowledge I have about safety engineering, especially as regards to oil and gas. And we started working on the ideas. Okay, what's the market need? What's the pain point for those in high hazard industries? And that's what we came up with the idea of VisionTech. Yeah. And VisionTech, simply put, is just to use computer vision technology using existing CCTV cameras in high hazard industries to monitor and detect incidents. Yeah, helping them cut off the time lag between identifying incidents and reporting. Most times in oil and gas, if you ask them, if you also check statistics, you'll know that people hardly, reporting rate of incidents, is below 50%. Yeah, in most places, because the man who had the incident for many reasons. One of them will be if I was involved in the incident, if I created the hazard in the first place, I wouldn't want to report it. I'm also more focused on the work I'm doing. Yeah. So it's like policing in the workplace. So I want to take that off the human people who are doing the work. So technology can actually report on incidents. Yeah, monitor if there's a spill, if there's a fall, if there are hazardous stuff in the workplace. Yeah, technology cameras are already there, seeing these things. They can actually create an AI that detect those particular things, use cases, and report them automatically. And also we do something like what we call ghosting. So we're not actually reporting the people we're reporting on the incident. So we're not focusing on the camera to check who and who did X, who did what and what. No, we're looking at the behavior. So it's the behavior we're reporting. Yeah, so that the company can better improve. Yeah, and do things better. So that's how it works for us.
So let's go back a little bit and see. So a lot of this is safety. What are the different kind of reportable things that are standard today? When we think about like OSHA, right? Like what are the things that they're usually looking at? And all I know about is their accidents, their near misses. I'm sure there's a bunch of other so take us through the different types.
Yeah. So even in the accidents, so the 1,001 kind of accident that could happen, that could go wrong. So we categorize them as incidents. So they are hazards. Hazards are they are typically incidents that have not actually happened. Yeah. So we're in that space. You create an environment that enables an incident to happen faster. Yeah. So those are hazardous places. Like if you're cleaning the floor, you find if you go to some shops, maybe Walmart or somewhere, they'll keep a sign, say wet floor. Yeah. So without that sign, that's a hazard.
Got it. Because an accident could happen.
It could cause an accident.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're saying, so even when in a floor shop, somebody forgot to put the wet floor, or maybe there was just a spill and they've not been notified that there's a spill for them to put the wet floor caution sign, the cameras saw that there was a wet floor. So the cameras, our AI can detect that substance and report it and trigger it immediately. So, we need to notify people that there's an hazard here. It could lead to an accident. Yeah, so that it doesn't lead to. And that's how it works for different parts. So we have things like where I just mentioned that could lead to slips and fall. If you're walking on the walkway and they tell you hold the rails.
Oh, it's for a reason. The guys at Shell.
Yeah, it's for a reason. Yeah, so it's not because we know that you can't walk properly. We know you could walk. We know you're fine. Yes, but still hold the rails. So when you forget or you typically don't want to hold the rails, the camera's watching. Yeah, so they could trigger an alarm. And so please hold the rails. Yeah, we say hold the rails because we know what could happen if the rails are not held. Yeah.
I mean, and those kind of things are, you're already implementing. Like, for example, when you drive the Tesla, if you have it on the auto drive and
Definitely.
you're not holding the steering wheel, it tells you, can you please hold the steering wheel?
Yes.
Like, I know I'm self-driving, but still you're supposed to be paying attention.
Definitely. Definitely.
So what you said earlier about, self-policing, I mean, that's one of the things that came to my mind. But what you said then later on around how it's not about kind of blaming people, but it's about just naming that, hey, in this company, 40% of people are still not holding the railings when they're, going up the stairs and things like that. That makes people more aware of their behaviors versus maybe even penalizing people for doing something wrong. That would have a more companies would have a more positive inclination towards that.
Definitely. Not about penalizing also. It could also be a reward system. So we could say, okay, so when we report zero incident, so many companies will tell you, zero incident. What they mean is zero fatality. That means nobody died.
Yeah.
Yeah. But many people got injured. Yeah. Some people didn't die at work, but they died at home. Yeah. Because, for example, one of our use cases that we're working on will be on lifting heavy equipment. So there's a position you take to lift anything you want to lift.
Oh yeah.
So you don't just
use your legs, not your back.
You need to use your legs, squat, and lift properly. Yeah. So the cameras are there, so you could tell. So this guy can be lifting wrongly, and he's been doing it all his work life.
And that's a repeated motion incident.
And nothing happened at workplace. Yeah, he didn't die. There was no fatalities. There was zero incidents. Everything. Yeah, but he retires and he can't move. Yeah. So he's been killed in the workplace over 35 years. Yeah, he didn't die in one day. Yeah. So what we're saying is our product helps monitor that, report that, so that the company can focus on how can we do things better.
Yeah.
So it's not about just talking the talk, it's about really doing it. Yeah.
And then how do you how do you make it in a way so that people don't feel safe with these cameras kind of monitoring them all the time?
I think the other question is like, what's the line between feeling like a police state?
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. How do you make the employees comfortable with such a thing?
So the sweet part about it is we don't even have to do. So firstly, we don't have to do anything. The cameras are there already in the first place. So we're not bringing the cameras. We're using your own.
You're being watched anyway.
You're being watched already. Yeah. So we're just taking the videos of that they played on you, or they used them watching you, and now using it to make for lack of a better word, when I used to bring like root cause analysis to deep dive into what could happen or what is happening in your workplace. And like I mentioned earlier, our product, we use ghosting. So we don't even show the faces. Yeah. So we use like, we could do a 3D model and it just shows like, for lack of a better word, a caricature of the person.
It's like it's like digital twin all over again.
So it's not you. So I'm not going to come and say, was that Jason? Was that not? No, that's not the point. We're not even seeing your face. So even if the video you're giving to us that is coming to us is showing the faces, when it's going to our program, it converts automatically to ghosting. Yeah, we're not interested in who did what. Yeah, so that's what we tell. That will make the staff more comfortable. So you're in your workplace, you're free, you're doing what you're doing. And the cameras were already there, yeah, in the first place. Except for places where they didn't have those cameras, they want something new installed and all of that. We also advise on what kind of cameras to use, yeah, to get better quality videos that could our AI can actually properly interpret.
Yeah, and then where are you with the technology itself to be able to do this?
Yeah, so at this stage, we've done like we've passed proof of concept. Yeah, we are building our MVP now. We're hoping within the next 3 to 6 months we should be on pilot. We've spoken to about 10 different companies in the oil and gas space. We focus on more on oil and gas because that is where the high hazard are more pronounced.
And they have robust safety programs,
yes,
to be fair. So like they already measure this, they already have an incentive.
Yes. We also have more data to work with in that space. That's why we're focusing. And also maybe my bias, because that is the industry I have good knowledge of. Yeah. But I know what we're doing could transcend to manufacturing, construction, anywhere there's high hazard. Yeah, we could transcend to that. But the companies want to do a pilot with are all fully in oil and gas. We've spoken to them. We hope within the next 3 to 6 months we do the piloting with them, and after that we'll do a full product launch in the market.
And do you, I would wonder, because the thing about AI is it doesn't sleep, whereas managers focus on what's most important or what drives kind of what's most obvious, and I wonder. When you talk to potential customers, what are the objections they may have? My worry is if you put this in my house, you realize I'm standing on the top of the ladder all the time. I'm not doing all the safe things. And obviously that's different from a work environment because the liabilities are different. But how do you, I guess, how would you address the people getting inundated with too many alerts? Because that's kind of the other risk too, right? You kind of have to ease people into new behaviors and not smack them on the face every time they do something wrong. So how do you think about that? Yeah.
So most of the, so all the features, all the alerts, just like you have on your phone. So my phone could ring, I think, arguably since 2007 till date, my phone's never ring out. Yeah. So my phone is always on silent.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's a feature on the phone. You could let it ring or you could put it on silent and it rings. Yeah. So, and it goes off. And one of the reasons that made me started doing that, I was in a workshop and someone said that we don't normally, even if a phone rings or it doesn't ring, that every human being, who has a phone, almost like every 4 seconds, we look at our phone, subconsciously. So, and my phone have not been ringing out, but I rarely miss a call.
Yeah.
So you find that, but that ringing, the mind is already programmed. So also for alerts from our software, you could turn on the features. I don't want to hear the alert. You can also turn it off. I don't want to even be notified. I just want the report so I can make a judgmental call on it at the end of the month. So you can wait till the end of the month, you download the report. Another thing about what we're working on, I told the team, I said, the representation of our results should be sweet and make sense to the consumer. Yeah. So when on just taking a look at the dashboard, it could tell you everything you want to know. Yeah. So that's also one of our unique features, because we look at what was already in the market, doesn't really have that. Yeah. We want something that's already people are already used to slick stuff on their phones and all of that. We don't want to go below that. So we want to be able to represent it in that way. So you want to take a look and say, okay, at the end of the month, what are the incidents? What are the things that were reported? Yeah. Our reporting also goes beyond just pointing fingers or letting you know what happened. What can you do to correct it? Yeah.
So it's not only just about reporting,
No.
It's really about safety culture at the end of the day.
Safety culture. So actually, that's the right word. Yeah. Though many people argue about safety culture, there is a safety culture. Yeah. What we have is a company culture. So if the company culture is not ingrained in safety, yeah, you can have safety culture apart from the company culture. So we want to build a culture in every organization that safety is in high demand, because safety is about the people. So many companies prefer our people are our best policy, our people are this, our people are our best assets, our people are all of that. But you don't focus on the longevity or the implication of the work environment on the people. Yeah, so that's one of it that we are pushing. Yeah, everybody's saying all of this, but doing it in different ways. And one of our own ways, okay, let us tell you what is happening in your workplace as regards safety. And you could imbibe it if you're a very safety organized company or safety cultured company. Yeah, I think it's a no-brainer for them to use our product.
So how are you then actually going from, your background's technical within safety, and now you're bringing in the digital technology part and combining them both. Tell us about your journey of being, what are the steps that you're taking to actually create this product?
Okay. So I've found that this is my fourth company to found, but my third technology based businesses. So I've always told myself that I don't write codes, but I know why codes should be written. And I draw that from a mentor of mine who told me once that, says, Stephen, you don't need to know how things are done, in detail, but you need to know why they should be done or why they are done. That the man who knows how things are done will always who knows best how things are done will always get the job to be done. The man that knows why it should be done will always employ the man that knows how to do it. So I focus on knowing why. I focus on the business side of things. Why is this necessary? Why is this technology needed? What are the pain points of the customers? What are the things that we can address? And I find people who know how it should be done to work with to ensure that we do it. So when I mentioned that we find our first learning management system, arguably the first workplace e-learning platform in Nigeria in 2014, 2015, my idea was to know how, to know why. And I found the guys who know how, and I brought them on board, and we built that platform. We've gone ahead since then to build, I think maybe another additional, maybe 15 or more learning management systems for different organizations, as a private label. We've gone ahead to build a plagiarism checking platform. We've gone ahead to build so many software companies, for other people. I'm just guiding them on how it should be done. Because I know why it should be done. And on this one also, I've gotten a technology partner. They're based off in Canada, who are working with us to ensure that we build this out and build it properly. So they know how to do it. And because I know why, I employ them to do it.
And so why is now the time for this company? What's happening in the technology that allows this to happen today?
Yeah. So one of the good things, so both on the technology side and on the safety side, the good part is that prior to now, computer vision has been there. Computer vision has been there for maybe 20 years. But it's not being as readily used as it is today. Artificial intelligence and machine learning, have rapidly grown in the space of the last 20 years. So we've seen a rapid response, in this. Also in safety, many people are becoming more aware. The culture is changing drastically because of the new generation. People are calling out organizations at a large scale. If you are failing on something beyond the money, people are taking their health more seriously. People are taking their safety environment more seriously. The ESG is also being pushed, globally. America is in the forefront of it. However, many people still think that the other international organizations also who are also pushing for safety have better standard than you have in the US. That can be argued in another place. So what we're doing is we're using our background. I've worked with the oil and gas company in Nigeria. I've worked with oil and gas company in the UK. I'm now in the US. So I'm using my extensive knowledge of all these industries to bring them together and say, okay, what's to build to borrow another's word, a safety culture. Safety culture is regardless of language, regardless of even the standards. So it's above the standards. So bringing all the standards from the US, so you bring OSHA, EPA, DOT, you're bringing the Bosch, you're bringing all the standards you can get all over the world. And using the computer vision technology and AI. And so, okay, take all of this. So in one click, writing an algorithm, I could scoop through all the OSHA documentation. And so, okay, what does it tell you about slip and fall? And what does, compared to Bosch, and you build out something that is sophisticated. So beyond 10 years ago, we couldn't have done that. But technology have grown. And we know that it's the right time, to be able to be doing this. And I think we're even too late if we don't push it out in the next 6 months to 1 year. It will be a mass market product. So we're pushing it out and we're building on it. So there are many parts today. So things beyond just identifying incidents, there's predictive analysis. Like I mentioned, root cause analysis. I mentioned being able to use those data to make sense to the organization. There are so many parts to this, that speaks to the ESG, speak to safety and all the standards that you have globally. And one of the best ways, like to rephrase and answer of your question is, if it's not now, when? Is it till when more people die in our workplaces? So there's no better time to put in anything that has to do with safety. That will help people, become more aware and help people save lives. So and that's why we're doing what we're doing.
So you mentioned you spoke to 10 companies as you're thinking of kind of piloting this or more, I'm sure. You've spoken to many potential customers.
Yes.
What are some of the big insights that you've gotten speaking to them that might have been different from like when you came up with the idea initially?
So I won't say so much because I don't know if our committees are listening. So they don't use some of our ideas. But one of the things I can say jumped out for us, because that was one of the areas that my mentors pushed me to say, Stephen, you need to don't build what's in your head, build what the customer wants. Because we tend to do that a lot in technology space. You find tech guys, they like an idea, they love it, and they just go jump into it and just start building. So talk to the customers. So what are their pain points? What do they really need? So and I happen to be on the board of a company that is IT but is focused on safety. And it's big in the oil and is big in the US oil and gas industry. So I happen to be on the strategic advisory board of that company and have over 30 people. Other fine minds. Anything to do with safety on that board. So even just talking to them and hearing them in meetings where we have meetings and what are the pain points, what are we really seeing? What should we be changing? Gives me an inspiration on what to drive and how to push. But coming back to your question, that when I've spoken to over 50 or more different companies. But we're narrowing it down to, okay, let's take 5 to 10. That we can, firstly, for ease of reach. Secondly, people also willing to let us tap into their data. Because not every company wants you to come in, use their existing cameras, see those things, whatever they're doing. So they also are big on safety. That's why they're allowing us. One of the things that readily came was reporting. That many incidents, even the ones that are, firstly, they're not even reported. Then secondly, even the ones that are reported, they don't do anything with it.
Yeah.
They just report and it just goes.
That's
yeah.
part of the insight is it's not
Yes.
about the immediate response. It's about like the continuous improvement.
Yes. So it's not about just reporting. So when you report, what do you do with it? So I met a lady at the Offshore Technology Conference this year in Houston, and she collects data from oil and gas companies. She has loads and loads of data, incidents and everything. Safety data is just a small part of the entire data that she has. And I was talking to her. I said, okay, so what are you doing with this data? Yeah. I said, at the time we spoke, there was nothing. So let's just even collect it first. And I told her, oh, we're working on this. And those data will make sense. Yeah. Those video footage and all of that could make sense for a lot of things that could happen. So many companies already have data. It's how they now use those data. An improvement in oil and gas, especially high hazard industries. An improvement doesn't need to even be drastic. A 1% improvement in safety culture or safety incident reporting could change a lot. The difference between going to work and coming back alive, and getting killed at workplace is maybe just 1 mile. 1 mile more on pressing your pedal down. And it's okay, stop me just doing 70, let me do 71 miles per hour. That could be the difference. So it's not something that is actually too drastic. So what we're looking at is, let's even study what you have in the companies. See those small improvements that we could make. Or that you can begin to make, that we can suggest to you that you begin to take actions on. That will really, really help in the workplace.
And then as you're working on refining this and actually building this product, what do you think would be your biggest challenge going forward to actually be able to scale this?
Like I've mentioned before, we've done this twice. So this is the third time, just that the market is different. So I feel if I could do it in Nigeria, US would be easier for me to do. That's the mindset I have, because I have more support here. I've been able to establish a very robust network. Good people that I've met here. Also being a member of the hub, has also helped me. I've had meetings with Jason. I've had interactions also with other hub members and seeing what are they doing in this ecosystem, how they're scaling. What are the different things that they are putting into play? How they're looking for money? Also talking about that. Because of our experience, we also try not to put a lot of capital. At the beginning. So is this something I can build by myself using my personal funds and friends and family to bring to market? Yes. So my MVP will come out to market regardless of whether I get external funding or not. So that's one of our positioning. So we'll be able to come up with our MVP. When we bring it to market, if the market doesn't like it, it can die a natural death. But if the market likes it, the next skill is how to scale. So it's now more funding, which we have a good network of people already in that basket. But we want to show them something that is working. Something that is credible, something that is working, something that they can look and say, okay, people are actually really using. And my goal is to make people love our products to want to use it. That will help in that barrier, because the only barrier we see to it will be funding. Technology part, my team say, Steven, we know the technology. We can build it. My own, also in my experience, I feel the pain points for every entrepreneur, for every startup, there are 3 pain points. Major pain point. The first one is access to capacity. Knowing what you are doing. Being able to build what you say you will build and let it make sense. Second one is access to finance, being able to get the money to build it. Then the last is access to markets. Can you sell what you built? Most times you find people want to help you, teach you how to build. So you find a lot of training, capacity development, which is the first part. So many entrepreneurs are being helped already in capacity. Many people want to give you money. Very few people want to teach you how to sell what you're selling. That's the hardest part. So one of the drivers for me for this is that hardest part that we'll be able to crack.
Yeah.
Yes.
You want to be able to.
We've been able to crack it. Yes. So that's so the other two which are with people which are easily available. Yeah.
You can manage those.
I can manage those. So is that access to markets? Yeah. Based on our relationship and our network. Yeah. I can tell you that we have access to at least 1,000 possible clients that we already have a network that can reach out to from day one. Yeah, that we can have a telephone call to and say, oh, this person said we should talk to you about this. So it's a direct call. We already have that database. We have that already on ground. Yeah. In my previous startups, I never had access to markets. Yeah, that's a hard part. That's where you spend a lot of money on marketing and talking and doing stuff. Yeah. So for us, that barrier is now in this business is high. It's supposed to be high, but for us, that's a lower barrier. Yeah. So technology, my guys say, we'll crack it. Finance, we'll get funding if your product is good. Yeah. And the customer wants it. So I'm focusing more on let my customer want what I'm building, or let me build what the customer really wants.
Are you ready to lead the decarbonization charge? Energy Tech Nexus is your platform for growth, offering unique resources and expertise for energy and carbon tech founders. Join us at energytechnexus.com and start building your Thunder Lizard.
Yeah.
And is that because you're here in Houston, or because of the network you've been able to build, or because of your background of coming from energy? What makes that barrier low today?
I think I'm a faith-based person. Yeah. In as much as we don't want to talk religion or and all of that. Yeah, but I can't take it out. Yeah. So most times God connects people. Yeah. So like me coming to the Nexus, for example. Yeah. I met somebody. I had a discussion with him on my product, and he said, "Oh, there's a group you should be part of," and he just brought me downstairs to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. We could have met anywhere else. Yeah. The meeting, I would have met with him somewhere where I met him the first. I met him at the Ion. I would have had lunch anywhere else. But where were we in the building and you were downstairs that same day? And he just brought me downstairs. Yeah. I feel everything works together. Yeah. Everything is connected. So while I want to take the credit as okay, because the network I've built, I feel is the connection. Yeah, that have helped me build this network. So I met somebody also in church that we started talking, and he looked at my resume, tried to put a profile for him, and said, okay, we're just talking, and I like him because he's built businesses, he's gone out of them, he's retired now, just to get advice from him, because I was very impressed when I came to America. I want to know, what does it take to succeed here? Yeah, I wouldn't say, okay, because I've succeeded in Nigeria, then you can't transfer the same level of knowledge to this place, in as much as there are basic universal principles that work anywhere. Yeah, but I wanted to know what it takes to do the same thing here. So in talking to him, and he looked at us, oh, Stephen, you've done XYZ. On our board meeting last month, we're actually talking about this. And you've done this extensively. Let me talk to the chairman of the board. I think we should bring you on the board. And that's how that connection worked. I came on the board and I met other people. Yeah, and we spoke. Yeah, so for somebody once told me that a closed mouth is a closed destiny. Yeah, so whenever you meet people, talk about what you want or what you're doing. Yeah, it's in their best interest to help you. Yeah, because this person will succeed anyways. Yeah, and I think people help people who are already looking successful. Yeah, they want you to succeed. Yeah, especially when they know that you're putting a good fight. You're doing your best to ensure that you succeed, and because they know you will succeed without them. Yeah, someone else will help you with where you're going. They want to be part of that journey. Yeah, and I found that happen to me. So I found people saying, "Oh, Stephen, what you're doing, when you're ready, yeah, I want to be part of it." One of my co-founders said, we started talking one day, and he just said, "Stephen, how can I be part of this thing you're doing?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that a cultural difference of here in Houston versus in Nigeria, or is what's different this time?
So for me also, I think is the cultural difference between here and Nigeria is not so much. Yeah, maybe other parts of America. I think Houston, we're more, the people I've met. Yeah, I can't speak for everybody, but we are more liberal. we're more open-minded. Yeah. I've met people also in conferences, other parts of who are not so avert to for Nigeria. Yeah, now Nigeria or they may not say that we're racist or racial, but they just want to do business with you. But I think we are more exposed in Houston, the multicultural environment. Yeah, people have interacted. They've seen people from different races, different culture. Yeah, succeed. People do different things, and you take the person based on what you see. Yeah, can this person do this? Is the person credible enough to do this? Can they succeed in what they're doing? Are they credible people? Yeah, on their own. So you're not judging me based on some other person that looks like me. Yeah, you're judging me on me. Yeah, and I think I've enjoyed more of that. Yeah, in Houston than when I travel to other parts of the US. Yeah, I think that's why we also, when we're coming down to the US to settle with my family, we chose this path. Yeah, for a reason. So, okay, let's stay in the greater Houston area. Yeah, because firstly, they are when people are not well traveled or they're not exposed to other culture, acceptance, change is a difficult thing for anybody. Yeah, so people accept what they are already a bit used to or they've heard about or they can easily relate to. Yeah, and I think it's worked well for us coming down to Houston.
And you spoke about 3 things that are important for an entrepreneur. One of them is like access to capital too. And there you mentioned, you're trying to work in a very lean way, just using the resources that you have. What are you thinking as you grow with regards to your fundraising journey? Where are you there?
Yeah, so in as much as we're still working on what we have, we're already thinking that part. I've had conversations with Jason already around that part. Yeah, what the hub could do. Yeah, who to talk to. We have founders events. Yeah, we attend. Yeah. Firstly, you don't wait till the day you need something to begin to look for it. Yeah. So you begin to prepare yourself for that. Yeah. The same way, because those things have a way of impacting how you build what you are building. If I'm building something, I just want to just be okay, sell a few, make some money, add value, and I'm okay with it, then it's fine. But if you're building something like a thunder lizard, like Jason keep preaching to us, you need to think in that direction. You need to begin to look at it and say, okay, so how do I do this from I have to get it right from the beginning. Yeah. So for now, we're just taking advice. We're just open, listening. Yeah, talking to people who have done it. Yeah, one of my mentors has founded 5 companies. Yeah, exited 3 successfully. Yeah, 2, failed in 2, but he exited 3. So he has lessons to give me both in how not to fail and how to succeed. Yeah, so he's one of the driving force for us, and he's done it successfully in the North American market. So we listen to him. Yeah, we talk to him. We have meetings with him almost every week. Yeah. So what are we doing? Yeah, even just it's okay, this is how we're doing, just updating him and just getting response on what to do and how to go around it. And as we continue with it, we focus more on that. And we are already talking to people, at least 3 people who are at that level, or beyond just angel or seed investing, who are that senior level. And they from my experience, is better to start talking to them now. So they see me talking even after this podcast. When I have this, I'll share with them. Yeah. So they see you didn't have anything. Yeah. And this is from my own experience. When I spoke to my first investors in 2013, I did not have, all I had was an idea. And when I spoke to them in Nigeria, I was just talking to them from my mouth. We met 3 months later coincidentally, like I told you, another orchestration meeting in a place, and I had my iPad and I showed him a mock-up. We met again like 3 or 4 months after, and I showed him a prototype.
Yep, the progress.
Yes, so we met again, and I said we're launching. And I shared with him media communication on the national news that we've launched our product. From beginning till the day we spoke to when he invested, it took about 9 months. I wasn't asking him for money or those. I was just showing, we're making progress. So, what I'm letting him know, Or what I was letting him know then was, I am making progress with or without you.
Yep. And by the way, at this future date, there will be a time we need capital. Right?
Yes. So that also he knows, this boy is coming. Yeah, he's coming. He's going. I think I should plug in now before somebody else puts in money, because I can tell his story. I've seen him grow. Yeah. So that's what we're trying to build now. Still, credibility. Yeah. Talk to people. Let them know our journey. Yeah. Some also don't want to. There's some investors that want to bring in money that by their policy, they won't bring in money until you are market ready. So we're not bringing money until you hit a certain amount in revenue. So we also have those people within just letting them know, oh, we're zero revenue today. When we get to $1 million revenue, we notify them, oh, we're now at $1 million. The last time we spoke, we're zero. Now we're 1 million. We'll get to 3 million. So we're at 3 million now. So until that, so guys.
Yeah. And it's understanding that these investor relationships, they're not built overnight, right? It's a long process, and you start even before you're ready, because it's all relationship based. They have to trust you as a founder to put their money into it.
Yes. And that's the right word. Many people, like someone once told me early in this journey, that people don't invest in your product or your business, they invest in you. Yeah. So they need to know you. Yeah. So we try to cultivate that relationship, and that's what we're doing now. Yeah. Try also not to ask for money too early, because I've seen many founders go down that route. We actually did that in one of our first startups. Yeah. I felt we took money too early. Yeah. It affects. So it affects the way you run the business. It affects the drive you put in. Yeah. When someone has a hammer, or if you're a carpenter, you have a hammer, every problem is like a nail. So that's what you have. When you have money too, most time you feel money solve all the problem. Yeah. So it reduces, it enhances thinking. In my own experience also, it reduces thinking. Yeah. There are things that you do when you're hungry. Yeah. Where I come from, we're hungry people. Yeah. So
going back a little on what you said, sometimes going out to raise money a little too early. I remember some of the angel groups I would go out to, and we were super young. We didn't know what we were doing, and we were pitching a version of the business. And then 2 years later, we came back and we had made progress. And some of the investors said, "Well, we're not going to look at your deal because you were pitching 2 years ago and the deal is stale." I'm like, "Well, it's a different business, it's different financing. Did you even read the materials?" And to be fair, they probably see 1 million of these a year, but it's if you're not building the relationship and you're just kind of trying to transact all the time, the question does emerge. Why hasn't this been funded yet? If it was good, it would have been funded. It would have been,
yes.
And so, but I think it's you're on your fourth venture here. This is experience talking. It's hard to know what that sounds like when you're a first time founder. And what it takes to kind of lead the investors to water, so to speak. It's a lot of work, but it's kind of what you have to do to build that relationship so that it's easy when the time comes to engage in that investment discussion.
It is.
So that's a lot of wisdom right there that you really shared here.
It is, and truthfully, also, it's a very difficult place to be.
Yeah,
especially when you need the money
and you want it really bad.
Yeah, you want it really bad, but you know deep down in your heart, it's not the right call. Yeah, the money will be good. Yeah, and especially when the investor you're talking about is even willing to give you the money. Yeah, if you're asking and you're not going to get a different ballgame. But when the money is available to be given to you, but this money you're taking, you're making you deep down in you're making a mistake. Yeah, is more difficult. Yeah,
because there's always a sacrifice, right?
Yes. Something must give. Yeah, someone I was reading somewhere recently, and the person said, be careful of the investment you take. Yeah, because if it's the devil's investment, the interest is always high. So you have to read between the lines. So most times you get something, it comes in like they call it an angel investment, but it's really the devil's investment, because at the end of the day, your company is going. Yeah, we've lost business like that. So we are also very careful. Yeah, in as far as I don't want to own something, we're not building something just because of legacy, to build something for a name. Yeah, someone was also told me that I rather have 10%, yeah, of a mighty ocean, yeah, than have 100% of a swimming pool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you want to go with people, you want the right minds to be with you. But also you have to look at, what are we building? Yeah, do they really believe in this? Yeah, or believe in me? Yeah, to be able to scale and do this at a large proportion. And because of my personality too, yeah, I am someone, I can't take money from Jason and say, okay, I want to buy this phone. Yeah. And I come back to you and I say, oh, I didn't buy the phone. I say, oh, where's my money? I lost your money. No. If I go to the market and this phone is no longer available, I will buy something else. I will make sure I come back.
You want to create the value.
I must create value for your money. Yeah. I will never come back and say, oh, we lost it. No. Where I come from, we don't do like that. Yeah. You must show value. Yeah. And I learned that in business school too. If one of my professors mentioned that using vegetables, for example, say you're an onion trader, then you go to market and there's no longer onions or something happened. Yeah, maybe there's now scarcity of onions. But you went to market. They sell tomatoes. They sell pepper. They sell other things. Buy something else and trade with it. Yeah, don't come back to your investor and say, oh, we lost money. Yeah, there's money. Oh, no. We need money for, if you come to raise money for something else, nobody will believe in you. Yeah, so you want to show value for whatever. Yeah. And we just and that's credibility, and it's a new market for me. I need to ensure that we do that here.
Yeah, and there's an expense of time, like when you go into the market, to extend the metaphor. Like you're there, you've already invested in getting there. You already have kind of your experience, and maybe that plan was the first plan. But like you said, there's other vegetables you can trade and come back, and you're not going to waste that overhead, right? That's really the lesson here. And it'll give you the opportunity to come back to market again and again and again.
Definitely,
right?
Definitely. And if you borrow from many successful companies, Samsung, Nokia, even ones that failed, and the rest of them, they'll tell you that what they started with, they didn't start with technology. Yeah, that some started with rice trading, some were furniture making companies. Yeah, but they just kept transitioning. Yeah. So and that's what you're after. So you're after creating value. That's when you start taking money, you must create value for the shareholders. Yeah, for the stakeholders, you must create that value. But before then, what you're looking at is creating at the expense of yourself. I must create value for the customer. Yeah, because at the end of the day, it's the customer that will reward all shareholders. So build something that they like, something that they love, something that they will use. Yeah, so they can invariably give you value that you can bring back to shareholders.
So one of the things I want to explore with you, because we've been playing on, now is the right time, but also this is something we have to put in front of our customers. Really, part of the way you're going to create value for your investors is by coming to market and not having anyone compete with you, right? Or you're going to get out there before other people. So this is a little bit of a question on timing, right? Like, why was now the time? How are you also going to come out and kind of create this defensibility around the business where no one's going to be able to catch up?
I think that's a difficult question.
It is a difficult question. I'm asking you the hard ones.
It is, because the truth about it, and I've looked at it in different ways. I met a potential investor once back home in Nigeria, a billionaire, and we're in his office talking, and he told me, Stephen, then we're on our second journey, building our third journey, building our plagiarism checking platform. And he said, Stephen, after all my projections, it was lofty, fantastic meeting I had that day, presented, spoke. I was in my element when I finished with him. And he looked at the numbers. He said, Stephen, you talk about 2 million students using this platform. Okay, giving you XYZ amount. But if I come on board, that's him talking to me now. Say, Stephen, if I come on board, 2 million becomes useless. Yeah, because on my own, I have a network that we can reach all the universities and we can hit all of them. And we'll be talking about 20 to 50 million students using this platform. I say, yes, I know that. Yeah. And so I said that to say this. whatever you think you're building, yeah, if one of the big guys, one of the billionaires, if Bill Gates wakes up tomorrow, or Elon Musk wakes up and thinks, and their eyes go, oh, let's even think about this oil and gas safety thing and VisionTech with what he just did with the robotics and the cars and all of that. And he takes in that direction. Oh man, we're all just, so we just stay in the queue. Yeah, because he kills the markets. He just takes over the markets. So that said, it doesn't stop you from putting in your best efforts and just coming to markets. Yeah, because even if there are many car builders, but more cars are still needed. There are many technology-based companies. There are many oil and gas companies, but more are still needed. There are more energy companies, but more are still needed. There is always a market for the man who can build something and find that market. Yeah, so there's always a market. There's a market. The same way the birds fly, they don't collide in the air. Yeah, even if the air is full of birds, if we bring all the birds in one city, it will look like, wow, there's no space. Let them all fly up. There is space. Yeah, so there's always room for everyone. So, but what we look at is, we need, which I talked to my team about. So one of the differentiators first, I said, even if we don't do anything, let's finish our clients. Using the word finish is a border parlance from Nigeria. Like, let's go and kill it. When our clients see our dashboard, when they see their reporting dashboard, they should say, wow. Before they even think about what did they even say. Yeah. So that's one of the tasks I gave to my team. Let the client say, wow. Yeah. I've never seen safety reported like this. Yeah. So let our reporting be extraordinary. Before we start thinking about, oh, so what did the report even say? Then that's secondary. Then even some of the elements of our reports should be something that they are not thinking. So because I'm a business school student, as it were, I'm thinking more from a management perspective as it relates to safety, which most companies don't. Most companies focus on management is here, safety is here. Yeah, HR is in the middle. Yeah, they're all fighting. So I'm wearing the three caps. So I'm thinking from a management perspective, from my owner's perspective. Yeah, my team were thinking from a safety perspective, and we're trying to marry all together. Yeah, so there's no fight, there's no conflict between HRO, safety, and management. We're wearing it as one. So the reporting that will be coming from our platform will be making so much business sense, to management, that they have no other choice than to say, okay, let's focus on this, let's push this. So that's one of the areas that we're looking at.
It reminds me of the old Staples commercials, just like you got to hit the easy button, right? It's the same thing. It needs to be to enable that adoption. It needs to feel that simple, that it's obvious.
Yes,
right? And that's part of your goal, is to make it obvious.
Yes.
And I think also what you were saying, you can't always be worried about hypotheticals in terms of like who else can come in and like disrupt this, because you understand the problem. So you can create a solution. I mean, Elon Musk is not looking into this problem, at least not right now.
He has not told us so.
At least not in the way that you are, right? Like from your angle.
No, but I want, even if Elon Musk decide to look at this problem, when he looks at it, we'll say, oh, VisionTech,
they're doing something.
What can we do?
What can we learn from them?
What can we buy? Can we buy them? What are we doing to be like them or to be better than them?
Exactly.
I want in the next 5 years, anybody coming into this environment, coming into the safety, oil and gas safety or high hazard industry safety, to do anything in technology, should say, oh, one of our competitors is VisionTech.
Yeah.
Globally.
Oh, you want to be on the chart
you
of
want to be on the
competitors
chart.
that people
Yeah.
describe.
I want to
That's how you know it matters.
Let's knock this guy off. I want to fight, like, let it be a Pepsi Coca-Cola fight.
and it's good for the industry overall, right?
Definitely.
Like that.
It's good for the
point.
ecosystem. So it's good. Competition is good for the ecosystem. It's good for the industry. Yeah, it makes people think better. It makes people want to bring out stuff. Yeah. You're not just a walkover, because as technology is improving, we are also improving. Yeah. Once technology is in the market, if it's we're creating, if it's also created, we're also adapting. Yeah, to say, okay, how do we move? But all of this is in sync with the customer. Yeah, because there's so much you can drive the customer. Yeah, most of the features we have on most of our devices are not even, customers don't use them. Yeah. So you want to build something that the customer is using and they're asking for more, they're yearning for it. Yeah. Because it's making sense to them and it's actually helping them. So what we're building is low cost, is reducing cost for the company. Yeah. Let that cost that you're reducing in the company, let it translate to employees' benefits. Help the employees, help the staff. Yeah. And all of that. And we have so many spirals from this that I may not be able to share on this podcast, that even has to do with workplace. So when you mentioned, when we started, you talked about, just your person, if it's just you. Yeah, so we have one of our products that we're going to come up, in the next 24 months as part of the plan is going to be just for home workplace alone. So beyond what you do in high hazard industry, you sit down at home, in your own office, working from home, with working from home being a big thing now. One of our products is going to, from this product, the spiral of it is going to be focused on working from home. So we have all those in the pipeline, but
in keeping up with the modern trend. So let's talk a little bit about trends at the macro level. And I can see a lot of safety is regulation driven when we think about OSHA and like local rules. Are there any historical regulations that are going to drive this, or is there anything people are talking about from a regulatory perspective that you expect to affect the business in the next 5 years?
Yeah. So those things they are talking about already is like helping us.
Yeah.
So ESG.
Yeah.
Yeah, is one of them. So many states are adapting. Yeah. There are so many regulations also around the OSHA and the rest of it that are being rewritten.
Is that being driven by, you said before, people are more interested in this topic, or are there other things that are driving that transition?
I think one of the things that driving transition is technology.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because you can enable a lot now.
Yes, so many people are enabling a lot. And the old guys, the older generation who have been in the business, who created most of these rules and regulations that we're using, are beginning to allow. We have newer guys who are coming in who are now enhancing those regulations.
Because we have this generational transition that's happening.
Yes.
Yeah.
So is a good one. So there are many OSHA rules, there are many of all these rules that on paper, it's okay, but on ground it's not workable. Yeah. So being able to marry both is what's driving most of this stuff. And most times, like I was in a session last week, and the guy was saying that Steven and the team said, when you guys think about safety, don't think about the workplace. Yeah. Focus on the regulation. Focus on policy. Yeah. Because that is what the regulation says. But on ground, it's different. But ideally, if we focus on what the regulation says and marry it to what's on ground, you'll find most of our incidents will drop down. Because in our own thinking, policy drives everything. Yeah. So there's no incident that happens in the workplace that is not policy driven. Yeah. But if you focus on policy, who makes policies?
It's people in the management who are informed.
That's it.
Yep.
So every incident in the workplace can be traced to a management failure. Management doesn't want to hear that. So we want to blame people. Yeah. By the end of the day, it's a management problem. Yeah. If management enforced it, or if they did the policy,
or let it not get enforced,
it will not yield to any incident. So that's what I was saying. So culture in the company, coming back to Nada, what you mentioned. So safety culture cannot be different from management culture. So if we say we have a culture here of we value people, we respect them, let safety be the number one of how you show. So how do I show love in the oil and gas industry? Safety. Yeah, so let safety be the watchword. Everything drives where that heart. Let management think from safety perspective. Most time we think from production, instead of safety. But forgetting that without safety, even if you do production, a day will come, production will pay for safety, and all the revenue that have been made will be eroded because of one mistake. Yeah, but if you consistently focus on that safety and drive it from that perspective, it will keep yielding fruits. Yeah, better. So that's what we're pushing for.
That's a key message to wrap up this podcast on. But Stephen, your enthusiasm and your passion for this really shines through, and also really admirable. You've come here as an immigrant, entrepreneur, and thought Houston is the place to build companies, and have found it. It's good to hear that you found it also welcoming, and seeing you thrive in being here in a very short period of time. So,
Houston, they tell you, is the oil and gas capital of the world. So coming in here, I was thinking of strictly technology, maybe education, tech, and all of that. Until I started talking to one of my mentors, and I said, Stephen, you have a background in oil and gas. You are in the oil and gas capital of the world. Yeah, you are doing a PhD in environmental sciences. Yeah, how can you tie back your life? So go back, reflect on it. I took out time. I said, I don't want to talk about religion, but I took out time to pray and talk to myself and talk to God. Yeah, and I looked at it and said, after I came back to tie, I just wrote an article I wanted to post on LinkedIn to say, okay, how's my life been? How's my journey been? 20 years, working and all of that. And I found out what comes was where I started from, what I've built, and how it's come back to where. Yeah. And I said, okay, so this is it.
This is the work.
This is the next thing to do. This was going to drive us next, and that's what we're working on.
Well, thank you for joining.